Time is almost here. Yes, y'all, the time is almost here. I know the last time this fight almost tried to get made and whatnot, we had some hiccups come along the way, but guess what? The fight is next week. What fight am I talking about, you may ask? I'm talking about the undisputed light heavyweight title matchup between Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol. Now, this fight will be taking place in Saudi Arabia. This fight is scheduled to take place October 12th. You know what that means? That fight is next week. Y'all, this is one of the biggest fights that we've been looking forward to, especially Mario. I mean, Mario was telling me even off the podcast how much he's been waiting on this fight. And even when the fight got postponed, man, it was a big bummer to us. But we here. After all the waiting, we finally here. We finally done reached it. So without further ado, let's just get straight into it. I want to start out with the breakdown of Dmitry Bivol. I'm gonna say something about Dmitry Bivol. Uh, Actually, can I just go ahead and say this fight is more so of a it's more so of a boxer versus a boxer puncher. And I think this fight it has the possibility of being fight of the year. And because this fight is such it's so many ways you can look at it. Skill is skill, skill and power versus just skill. Dmitry Bivol, one thing I can say about him, one thing Dmitry Bivol does, which I don't think a lot of people notice, he moves up on his feet. And that's kind of always been like a benefit towards him when he's getting those punches off. Dmitry Bivol, he throws long shots. Now he can box you on the inside, but he's usually throwing these long shots and he's always on his feet. Um, as y'all seen in previous fights, he's more so of a, you know, box you, outpoint you, kind of the top to like, I won't say slick, but he definitely does want to make sure he gets up on the points. He does want to make sure he's up on the cards. And he's the typical, not typical, but he's the type to outbox you. And not only that too, but you know, he knows how to put his punches together. One thing I will say about Dmitry Bivol is that I think the way he throws his punches, I think it can be very risky. Why do I say that? If you see how he throws his punches, he kind of throws his punches and there's no defensive into it. There's no defense after. There's more so a throw a punch. You know, he tends to leave his face open. He tends to leave his body open. And what do we say when you do something like that? It becomes a habit. What did we see with Naoya anyway? When he was throwing those punches, the way he threw it, he got what? He got counted and he got dropped. So in a fight of this magnitude, Dmitry Bivol, he's going to have to really be polished on his skills. He's going to have to really box with Beterbiev. He's not going to want to get in there and try to and slug it out with him, because if you do, that's the quickest way for him to get slept. Dmitry Bivol is going to have to go in there and box him. He's going to have to utilize his range. He's going to have to utilize his footwork. He's going to have to also mix it up too. Don't stand in front of Beterbiev too long. You stand in front of Beterbiev too long, the longer you're in front of Beterbiev, the chances increases for him getting that knockout, that stoppage. So what Dmitry Bivol has to do, utilize the footwork, keep his distance, and stay defensively sound. You can't afford to make any mistakes in this kind of matchup. In your last fight, cool, maybe, but in this fight, when you're going to get somebody that's a power puncher like Artur Beterbiev, you have to be on your A game. And I think in order for him to do that, he's going to have to do more than what he's done. And it's going to be really hard because the thing about Beterbiev can box too. So you're going to have to try to outpoint him, but you're going to have to also try to match his work rate and his work ethic too in that ring. You're going to have to find a way to counter him and not counter the counter puncher. I've said it in the past. You're going to have to find a way to counter him too, because he has counter punching ability. So I think if Dmitry Bivol can place his shots correctly, move around, don't stay in the same place, mix his shots up, and kind of keep it more so of an outside game fight, because Beterbiev, he can throw on the outside, but at the same time, though, not to say that Beterbiev struggles in the inside too, but I think somebody like a Dmitry Bivol, who has a better time of getting his shots off in the outside, I think it's better for him to keep his game in the outside. So that would be my breakdown for Dmitry Bivol. I'd like to pass over to you, Mario. What is your breakdown of Dmitry Bivol?
Bivol, let's be honest, okay? The light heavyweight division, it wasn't popping until Bivol defeated Canelo. Now, there were obviously some very good, some very, very loyal, advanced boxing fans who knew who Bivol was. But to everybody who knew who Canelo was, this was a shock when he beat him. It shocked me because I had no clue who this guy was because I wasn't paying attention to the light heavyweight division. I'm gonna say this: Dmitry Bivol, his power, it's very underrated. Now he's not a knockout artist. Okay, we know that. All right. I mean, he just got his first knockout in 6 years. He's not a knockout artist, but you got to have some type of power to hold off your opponents the way Bivol does. For somebody like Canelo Alvarez, who's probably been in the ring with some of the strongest punchers there has been in the game, for him to actually struggle the way he did with Bivol, that means Bivol has some power that not a lot of people can, not a lot of people realize. Bivol is basically he's got a pop. I'll say this: he's got a really really good jab, and he loves those straights. And then once he gets those straights going, once he gets those straight hands going, then he'll hit you in the body, and then he'll start getting really versatile with it. The thing about Bivol, now I disagree with you as far as the defensive part. Bivol's defense, in my opinion, is very similar to Israel Madramov's in the sense of these guys, because their footwork is so good, because these guys are so aware of where they need to stand and exactly how much space they need to have between them and their opponent, that's their defense right there. So it's not about like head movement or anything like that. I don't think Bivol has like swift head movement. I really don't. I'm not saying he has none at all, but he doesn't have swift head movement. But what he does is have impeccable footwork. And that footwork is going to be a big problem for any opponent, including Beterbiev. All right. The thing is with Bivol, he's that type of guy that he's not gonna go and he's not going to rush in. What he's gonna do is that footwork. If you notice, a lot of the opponents that Bivol basically defeated and broke their will, if you notice, most of the time they were on the ropes. And you want to know how he gets them on the ropes? With that footwork. It's not about the power of his punches. He's got power in his punches, but that's not what it is. That constant movement. Here's the thing, Breezy. This is what I like to compare it to. If What's the best way I can compare this to? If you have like let's put it this way. If you're getting chased by like an animal, if you're getting chased by an animal, okay, no matter what, you can pick whatever animal you want. If you're getting chased by an animal, as the animal continues to kind of push forward towards you, what are you gonna do? You're gonna back up. Now, what happens when you stay still? They're not going to come at you. Let's take a bear, for example. A bear is not going to run at you unless you run away. When you run away, that bear and you, it's now a foot race. If you stay still, they always say, if you see a bear, stay still and don't do anything. Because when you stay still, the bear's not going to do nothing. Dmitry Bivol is the bear. If you start running away, if you allow him to start moving, okay, you are going to back up and you are going to go into those ropes. Most of the time, this guy has you backed up into the ropes before he even throws a punch. And that is insane footwork right there. Why? Because he knows how to he knows how to push the pace and he knows how to make you back up because he's too fast for you. And then you're concerned about that. And B, he knows how to shift angles to the point where you're surrounded on those ropes. That's how Bivol beats every single opponent he has. You notice how he just dominated Canelo? Guess what he did it with? Foot movement. And then the punches came on from there. And like I said, the underrated power in the foot movement is why Bivol is undefeated. Now, as far as weaknesses with Bivol, he's really good at boxing on the outside. Well, guess what? Newsflash. His weakness is getting hit on the outside. And that is what is so crazy about it. I need y'all to go back and look at the Joe Smith fight. Okay? Joe Smith versus Dmitry Bivol. I need to go back and look at that fight. What I noticed in that fight, that overhand right was hitting him a lot. And there was a moment in the fight where he got saved by the bell, but when he was fighting, he got hit with an overhand right and he got rocked. I mean, you could tell like for a good 2 to 3 seconds, Bivol was not in it. He wasn't. And so with Bivol, I do believe that if you're going to beat him, it's not going to be on the inside. You got to beat him on the outside, and you got to make sure that if he wants to box on the outside, no problem. But you got to make sure that you start landing your punches on the outside, or he's going to take advantage. All right. That's what I'm trying to say. Because guess what happens when you get him on the inside? He can move his feet a little bit. He can cut those angles. That's what he's good at. But if you continue to jab him and if you continue to kind of stop his momentum and stop his progress on the outside, he's not going to come forward. And if he does, you can counterpunch him. So for me, that is the weakness that I have for Bivol. You said he leaves his body open a lot. I agree with that as well. And I think that it's so hard to hit him because he's so good with space in between his opponents that the only way you're going to get him is, I feel like, either pushing the pace, or if you clip something, if you basically land a good clean punch on him. And that's hard to do with Bivol. And overall, I think if Beterbiev is going to win this fight, he's going to have to box him on the outside. He's going to have to be a better outside boxer in this fight. I think if Bivol's going to win this fight, I think he's going to have to get into the inside of Beterbiev, and that's going to be really, really hard. And I think he's going to have to use his foot movement and footwork. And Beterbiev is a very underrated boxer, but he's not the same boxer that Bivol is. And I think if Bivol is going to win this fight, he's got to use that footwork, and he's got to use it to get into the inside. I think that's the only way he can win this fight. When you get into the inside, you got to slip out, because 3 punches from Bivol equals 1 punch from Beterbiev. So you got to make sure that you land your punches quick, and you got to move out. And that would be my breakdown for Dmitry Bivol. Now, Breezy, let's get to Artur Beterbiev. I'm going to let you start off first, man. Talk about it.
Oh, we always say there's a man of many words, but this is a man of actually no words. In fact, he's more so all action. All right, Artur Beterbiev. I need to say to start off, probably got one of the most ridiculous power in the sport of boxing. You know, I be on YouTube, and it's actually crazy because I be seeing polls where people be like, "Who's the hardest hitter? Whose knockouts is more, efficient? Who got more knockouts?" And no discredit the Tank, but I see a lot of people choosing Tank. But are y'all forgetting that Artur Beterbiev has a crazy knockout ratio? Like, do y'all know, like, his knockout ratio is like
100%.
And like I said, I'm not trying to discredit no fighters who have power. I'm not trying to discredit no fighters who have knockouts or who are knockout artists, but Beterbiev is a different animal. Me and Mario was talking one time, and he said, "You know what would happen if you got a fighter who can box and has crazy power? That's an undestructible force. They have that. He's just at the light heavyweight division. His name is Artur Beterbiev. Artur Beterbiev can box. He can go to your body. He can fight you on the inside. He can box you on the outside. And the thing about Artur Beterbiev is he doesn't have to throw hard shots. There's times where I see him throw shots that didn't even look like it was. He didn't put too much effort into it, and the guy just goes down. The way he did Joe Smith was nasty work. I mean, just from body going up. And the thing about Beterbiev, just like Bivol, he can put you up on the ropes too. The thing about fighters, when they get in the ring with him, they know he has that power. So they're not too quick to charge in, which kind of leads them to subconsciously get back into the ropes. Let alone, let's not forget, Artur Beterbiev, he can move his foot too. He got nice footwork too. He can move his head too. He got some nice little head movement to him. It's really hard to succumb to weaknesses of a fighter like Beterbiev, because it's like it's not too many fighters that's willing to take offensive risk so they can expose those holes, to expose those weaknesses in him. And I think maybe in this fight, maybe we might see Bivol do that, but it's a strong maybe because the guy has so much power. You're thinking about it the whole fight. Not only that, too, Bivol, I don't think he has enough speed to keep up with somebody like a Beterbiev. I think Beterbiev, he has a nice, decent speed, especially for somebody at light heavyweight. I don't think a lot of y'all give these light heavyweight fighters the credit they deserve. These guys are pretty fast on their feet and got fast hands for being at light heavyweight. And the thing about it is, too, is that he, like I said earlier, he's counterpunching. Like I said earlier, Bill was going to have to counterpunch him because at any given time and moment, like Mario said, he can throw those punches, but when it's time to take those punches, he's not the best at taking them. And the question is, what happens if Artur Beterbiev counterpunches Dmitry Bivol in that exchange? Is Dmitry Bivol going to be able to? This makes for a great fight because there's so many questions behind it. Can Dmitry Bivol take Bivol punches? Can he outbox Beterbiev? Can Bivol take Beterbiev punches? It's so much to lean up to. But the thing about it is too, with Beterbiev, he's a silent killer. He's coming in there to destroy you, round by round by round by round. Every round he's going in there, whether he's going to your body, whether he's going up to the top, he's putting his punches together. He's cutting a ring off. He's boxing you in the ring or against the ropes. He's looking to apply pressure to you and break you down each round. And the thing about it is, he has enough power to where he can break through your guard. How many fights have we seen where he's broken through guys' guards? Anthony Yard, that's another one I can name on top. Anthony Yard, an absolute dog. Give him praise and credit. But it's a time and point where you get backed up in that corner and there's nothing you can really do. And the thing about it is, too, you're already having to worry about that power. You're already on the ropes, and then you already got Artur Beterbiev punching you all on your arms. He's punching you to the body. He's coming up to the head, and then you decide that you want to. So that's what I'm saying. It's not too many mistakes or weaknesses that I can peep on because these fighters understand he has so much power that they don't want to take that offensive risk. So that'll be my breakdown of Artur Beterbiev.
Artur Beterbiev, every single fight that he has had, he's knocked the guy out. We know this. Have y'all noticed that every guy that he knocks out is between like rounds 9 and 11? So please explain this to me. I need a here. All I've been hearing in the comments, reading in the comments, is this fight's going to end with either Beterbiev knocking out Bivol or Bivol getting the decision. If Beterbiev can knock you out in the 11th round, why can't this go to the decision and Beterbiev wins it? Because Dmitry Bivol is a dog. He's a warrior. Okay, it's going to be hard to knock him out. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying, I completely disagree with what everybody's saying. Beterbiev can win this fight by decision. And I'm going to say this right now. Bivol has a chance to win this by knockout. And the reason why I say that is because he might not flatline Beterbiev. But you know what? If Beterbiev can't solve the problematic equation that is Bivol's offense, it could end in a TKO. So you got to keep that into perspective, that it's not just Bivol by decision or Beterbiev by knockout. Those are the two most likely outcomes, don't get me wrong. But those other two outcomes, there's a decent chance those could happen. Now, going to Beterbiev, he has that power where it's not, I'm going to hit you and knock your lights out. No, he has that power where it's, I'm going to make you feel this power and I'm not knocking you out. I'm going to torture you for 10 rounds and you're going to feel this power for 10 rounds. That is scary. That's why I say Beterbiev is the scariest fighter in boxing. Because if I get knocked out by Tank, my lights are knocked out, I wake up 10 seconds later, fight's over. If I get knocked out by Beterbiev, I'm still awake. And I'm feeling that. And I can feel that power. I'm still awake. That's the thing. If you look at all these guys that he has fought, they're still awake and they can't handle it. They can't. Now, I'm going to say this. Beterbiev, he's not as quick as Bivol. Okay? I don't think his hands are as fast as Bivol. I don't think he can control the range like Bivol. But what I will say is this. I think his head movement's better than Bivol's. I think he has very, very underrated feints. Beterbiev is very good with, level changing and using his feints to set up open opportunities. He's very, very good at that. We saw that in the Callum Smith fight. We saw that in a lot of his fights that he has had, where he's always changing the position of his body. So he'll kind of crouch down low and kind of try to get them to react to what he's doing. And when they do, he's ready to charge forward and hit you with something. And the thing I noticed about Bivol is when he does counterpunch you, you feel it in the first punch. That's the thing. You feel it right there in the first punch. It doesn't matter what you had in your mind. It doesn't matter what your game plan was. The second you feel that punch, all that goes out the window. And that's why this is going to be hard on Bivol. The second you feel that punch, everything goes out the window. Okay? Because people know he's strong, but I don't think they realize how strong this guy really is. I mean, if I had to compare one boxer to Ivan Drago, it's Artur Beterbiev. It's Artur Beterbiev because he has that. He doesn't want to knock you out. He doesn't want to knock your lights out. He wants to break your will every single fight. Because all his fights, they either end with the opponent not being able to continue or the doctor just being like, you can't take this no more. Because he's that dominant. He's that physically imposing. And I feel like with Beterbiev, though, with that power, I do feel like there are some weaknesses. He's very, very good on the inside, just like I said about Bivol. When Bivol's very, very good at fighting on the outside, but he gets clipped on the outside as well. The funny thing about Beterbiev is very good on the inside, but he gets clipped on the inside too. Beterbiev has gotten knocked down twice in his career, and in both of those times he has gotten knocked down, it has been by a hook in the clinch. Look it up. It's been a hook. It's been by a hook in the clinch. They break the clinch. They hit him, and he ends up getting tripped, and he ends up falling down. He loses his balance. Why? Because he doesn't have because it's not him controlling that moment. It's the other guy. So he has to react to what the other guy is doing. He starts backing up, and that's when his footwork gets sloppy. So that would be a weakness for to me from Beterbiev. And I think the way to stop that is Beterbiev. You need to fight on the inside, but I think you need to avoid the clinches. I think you need to avoid trying to be too physically imposing in the clinches because if you lose balance, that's it. And Bivol will take advantage of that. So is this a battle between boxer versus power puncher? Absolutely. But I can't compare it to that, dude. This is a machine gun versus a shotgun. That's what this fight is. It's machine gun versus shotgun. Bivol the machine gun, just quick, fast punches coming at you, just ba 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 ba. Bivol shotgun. Boom. There's one. Boom. There's two. And the question is, which gun is gonna come out victorious? The machine gun or the shotgun? Can Bivol's punching combinations, can those slow Beterbiev down? Or does it take one punch from Beterbiev to change this whole fight? And that's what we got to figure out. And the difference is this isn't like Wilder versus Fury, where all Wilder had was power and all Fury had some decent boxing. It wasn't all that. This is two guys that are great boxers, one with underrated power, one with insane power, one with underrated boxing, and one with insane boxing. We're gonna figure out who's the best, man. We are going to figure out who is the best. This is one of the most important fights in boxing. You hear everybody saying it, and they are absolutely correct. If you are a real boxing fan, this is the biggest fight in boxing. And this, like you said, it could be fight of the year, man. But as far as what Beterbiev has to do, I think he has to kind of stay composed and stay on the outside. I think he can't get too greedy with somebody like Dmitry Bivol. He could get caught up in a counter punch. And I think last but not least, I think those feints and I think his level changing is going to be very, very important. So I think he's going to have to mix up his punches a lot. But if Beterbiev can kind of stay on the outside, hit Bivol with some hooks, and basically make his power known from round one, I think Bivol's going to have to change up the equation. And I mean, that's going to be a hard thing to do. So overall, I do want to get to betting odds. The odds are as close as you can get, man. As of right now, Beterbiev is the underdog at plus 115, I want to say. At plus 115, the over under, the betting odds are weighing towards this fight going over 10 and a half rounds. And the most likely outcome that they got is Dmitry Bivol by decision at plus 120, or you guessed it, Artur Beterbiev by knockout / DQ plus 175. The least likely outcome to happen is going to be Artur Beterbiev winning by decision. So with that being said, Breezy, prediction time. You got the favorite, you got the underdog, and if so, what round? And how does that happen?
You know, it's one of those fights where it's like, in a way, you're not wrong for choosing either fighter. But I don't always. I'm sorry. I can't bet against that kind of power. That kind of power make you want to use the bathroom on yourself. So, with all due respect to Dmitry Bivol, I think Beterbiev is gonna get a TKO on him in the ninth round. And I think it's gonna be a fairly nice boxing exchange. I think Bivol gonna hit Beterbiev with some stuff, and obviously Beterbiev gonna hit Bivol with some stuff. And I think over time the power is just gonna wear him out. I just believe over time that power is gonna get him, it's gonna wear him out. And I think, you know, by ninth round, I think Beterbiev gonna hit him with something. I think the referee gonna have to stop in. Something is telling me to learn it, lean into a quarter stoppage, but I'm not gonna go that far. I'm not gonna stretch it that far. But I do believe it's gonna be a Beterbiev TKO ninth round.
Before I say anything, I do want to say Top Rank, DAZN, whoever made that fighter trailer, best sports trailer I've ever seen in my entire life. Whoever made that, somebody better start paying him the big bucks because that was insane what they did with that trailer. The reason why I'm mentioning that trailer is because this fight's going to be exactly like the trailer, as close as it can get to it. This is going to be a war. I originally I was saying to myself, Beterbiev is going to kick his ass in the sixth round. Sixth round is going to be all done. I don't know, man. Uh, You know what's crazy? I got a gut feeling. I have a big gut feeling, and it's hit me today. I'm gonna go with the least likely outcome. I'm gonna go Beterbiev by decision, and everybody's gonna call me crazy. But I think Bivol's a warrior. I think Bivol's a dog. I don't think he's going to lay down for nothing. If this fight gets stopped, it's going to be from the ref or the corner. It's not going to be, or I don't think Beterbiev is going to flatline him. But I think what's going to happen is I think Bivol's going to start off pretty fast early. Maybe the first 2 or 3 rounds Bivol takes, it's going to be 3-0. I think he's going to get hit in the fourth round by something, by Beterbiev. He's not going to get knocked down, but he'll get rocked. I think Beterbiev, he's going to feel that power. He's going to be aware of it. And when he becomes aware of it, Beterbiev is going to hit him with more and more power. Except unlike these other fighters who crumble in the ninth, 10th, or 11th round, Bivol's going to keep on fighting. And I think come the 11th or 12th round, I think this is going to be a Beterbiev decision 116, 112 or 115, 113 Beterbiev. And I think he's going to win it by decision. Because for y'all saying that Bivol's going to win by decision or Beterbiev's going to win by knockout, Beterbiev has knocked out every single opponent or most of his opponents that he has had between the ninth and the 11th round. So, I mean, if he needs to go an extra round, it's proven that he can. You know what I'm saying? He's not knocking these guys out in the fourth or fifth round. A lot of these guys that he is knocking out, it's 9, 10, or 11th round. I think he's going to get him in trouble in those 9, 10s, or 11th round. Maybe he'll knock him down once and Bivol's going to get back up. But overall, I think Beterbiev is going to win this fight 115, 113, and I think he's going to be the new undisputed light heavyweight champion. So I'm going to go Beterbiev by decision. And honestly, if y'all want to do that, please do so because you can win a lot of money off of that. If you want to bet Beterbiev, please do. If you want to bet Bivol, please do. If you think Bivol is going to knock out Beterbiev, that's a possibility too. He could TKO him. He's not going to flatline him. He could TKO him. Any option that you decide to choose for this fight, and I never say this about any fight, Breezy, but any option you decide to choose in this fight, even draw. This is how crazy this fight is, Breezy. This fight could very well end up in a draw. I wouldn't be surprised because they're both that good. This is literally like this is literally King Kong versus Godzilla. This is Superman versus Bat. This is the best versus the best. Any option you decide to choose, you can't go wrong. But me personally, I have a gut feeling that this is going to be Beterbiev by decision. And it's going to be ironic because the biggest fight of his life is going to be the first fight that he does not knock out, that he doesn't get a knockout. That's what I think is going to happen. And we're going to see on October 12th, Saudi Arabia, for the Undisputed Light Heavyweight Championship. Shout out to Turkey Al Sheikh for making this fight happen, okay? Y'all keep on trashing him. It's okay. We keep in the receipts. Turkey Al Sheikh, respect for what you're doing, We don't always agree with everything Turkey Al Sheikh does or says. However, we know one thing's for sure. If there's anybody who's making boxing great, it's Turkey. So shout out to him. He's doing a great job. And overall, I mean, look, you guys are going to want to hear our post-fight breakdown of this fight, regardless of what happens, because that will be the season finale of season 3. And then from there on out, we kicking it into season 4. And you know what, Breezy? Right now, the score is 24-20. I'm leading with predictions. This fight's so big, I want to double up the points. So basically, you get the winner. That's 2. You get the winner and the method that it happened. That's 4. And if you get the winner, the method that it happened, and exactly what decision or what round, that's 8. So I'm gonna go Beterbiev by split decision. I think one judge is gonna have it wrong. I think split decision, Beterbiev, 115, 113, or 116, 112. Breezy got ninth round KO. Beterbiev. Either way, we both got Beterbiev, but this fight's so big that we're doubling up the points for this one, Breezy. So, hey, strap your seatbelts. This is gonna be a great fight. It's gonna be a good card. And let me tell you something. I cannot wait. I mean, I'm fiending for this fight, honestly. This is the only fight that I think could even compete with the first Fury versus Usyk. So I'm hoping that they deliver. But with that being said, we're gonna have to find out on October 12th. Before that, make sure y'all continue to tune into the Puncher's Point. You know, predictions, updates, post-fight breakdowns, all this type of stuff, news, anything you want. We got you with the Puncher's Point. Season 4, we're gonna have a lot of great things coming. So make sure y'all continue to stay on point with the Puncher's Point.